here in Rummel, Kirsch-Rooney Stadium. Ken Trahan with Danny Reams. So glad you could join us as we kick off the 2016 baseball season right here on WHNO TV 20. Here is the batting order for the John Ehret Patriots under the direction of Kenny Forsang, presented by First NBC Bank. The catcher is Colin Carmondale, and all around standout player. It's Aaron Palmer, the center fielder. Jacob Snyder, the outstanding pitcher. Chad Clement at first base. Jeff Williams is the shortstop. Ashton Self at second base. Trevor Stive in left field. Matt Bonin at third base. Brett Rodriguez, the DH, and Ricardo Tolar will play right field for the Patriots here this evening. And they will face the right-handed offerings of a young man. It seems like he's been at Rummel for about 8 years now. We joke about that, Darren Willis. He's, Danny, a good player, good all-around player. A pitcher, I think, secondarily, even though he can pitch, and he's more apt to play the field in terms of what he prefers, but he can pitch too. Tell us about Darren Willis.
He sure can. He's a great example of the high school shortstop that's a really good athlete, usually the best one on the field, and also has to pitch. Happens all the time. And so he's up on the bump today for the Raiders. He'll command the strike zone and throw multiple pitches, change speeds and everything, and he's just going to be a good strike thrower for the Raiders. Give him a chance to play defense.
Time now to take a look at our weather here this afternoon, and it is partly cloudy, 77 degrees, a beautiful afternoon. Now the wind is a factor out of the southwest at 15, which means it's blowing across toward left field, knock down anything hit to right, and will push things toward the line and blow out toward left. Keep that in mind as we progress. Ready to roll. Colin Carmondale leads it off for the Patriots, and the first pitch of the ball game is missing away, and we're underway here from Kirsch-Rooney Stadium. Want to know the count to Colin Carmondale, who comes in as a .364 batter on the young season, 4 for 11. So off to a very good start. Takes a hot one, and we're even at 1-1. Shadem to hit to the opposite field, and they're shallow in the outfield. 2-1 the count now to Carmondale. Palmer on deck, Snyder in the hole as we get you going here for 2016 on WHNO. 2-1 pitch. Late on it. It's 2-2.
Willis working that outer third of the plate. Kyle Costanza at second base for the Raiders needs to be on his toes.
2-2 pitch from Willis. And now full 3-2. Everything to the outer half thus far. Raiders in their pinstripe look here this afternoon with the familiar R on the cap and the jersey. Unmistakable logo. Payoff pitch. Toward right. FOURCADE on the run. Won't get there. A base hit. So a leadoff single for Carmondale. Good start for John Ehret and speed aboard. And I mentioned FOURCADE and right. There's a big change for Rummel. That is not something we have seen at all. The outstanding Raider captain, catcher, playing right field, Danny.
Yeah, he's out in right field. Trent Tully, the scene behind the plate today. So Nick Monica just giving FOURCADE a little bit of a rest. He caught most of the games, I believe, over this past weekend. So just give him a little rest before next weekend tournament hits.
Aaron Palmer, the hitter from the right side, bunts it and missed it. And the runner will take second on what has to be a pass ball on Tully. So we've seen the results already. You've got FOURCADE in right field. Bobbles the one hopper to him, and then Tully behind the plate unable to handle that one. And a runner at second base.
John Ehret in business already here at the top of the first. Man in scoring position with nobody out. We'll see if they continue to try to bunt him over.
You would think that would be the case. Palmer 222 with an RBI early on in the season. Good pitch to the outer portion of breaking ball, and it's 0-2. He's a fastball, curveball, changeup pitcher. Same assortment we'll see from his opponent, Jacob Snyder. And a swing and a miss gets him. Good job by Tully to fish that one out, and that's the first out as Palmer is retired.
Good pitch by Willis there to put him away, get that first out under his belt.
Here's Jacob Snyder, the outstanding two-way player. And I say that because he's not only their best pitcher, he's their best hitter. Throws left, bats right, and he's at 6 for 11 with 2 RBI on the young season. Takes this one just off the plate. So a .545 average for Snyder. With the base open, this might be a spot where you might want to be careful.
Absolutely. You don't want to give him anything too good to hit right now.
Want to know the count? And this is on a play toward the dugout of Ehret. It's 1-1, in particular since their regular cleanup hitter, Lavelle Otis, is not playing today. He's ill, and he was a late scratch, Danny, so it kind of cuts into their lineup depth, you would think, as a result, that this is the guy you identify that you don't want to let beat you.
Sure, anytime you're without your cleanup hitter, that's definitely a dent to your lineup.
Runner going big, break, strike call, throw, not in time. So he got a big jump. That was on the pitcher. Very good base running by Carmidel. Now he can score in a lot of different ways with a runner at third and only one out.
Tully tried to make it close, but just too big of a jump off of the pitcher, as you mentioned. And Ehret with a man on third, less than 2 outs, top hitter at the plate. They're in business.
Willis will work from the stretch, looking for the strikeout, and gets it. Carmidel into the dugout, and we'll have the pinch runner, Jordan Bullock, a courtesy runner. Bullock at third base. Again, in high school baseball, my favorite role. Courtesy runners, get used to it.
If you're Bullock, you got to be looking for something in the dirt. Might be able to get a cheap run.
Danny, the reason they do that now with 2 outs and runner at third is Carmidel's the catcher, so they're getting him in the dugout to get the gear on. There's a tap foul behind the plate. It's 0-1. It's not because he can't run. Carmidel, 24 stolen bases last year, and as we saw, he stole one here already. So you don't see that from a catcher normally, but that's the kind of player he is. Really good all-around player who Kenny Forseng is very high on.
Really good athlete, and you know, you could have courtesy ran earlier for him, but he's so good, he runs the bases. 2 outs, as you mentioned, the only reason that he's not out there.
Sits high, and it's 1-1. And Willis did not have to pitch in any of their first 4 games. He was the first guy out of the bullpen for Rummel in their Saturday game, but he wasn't needed because Luke LaCoste pitched a complete game victory in the tournament that Rummel played in. Fast strike, and this is 1-2. It was some weekend for Rummel in all phases, but in particular on the mound where they were just phenomenal.
Did a great job of throwing strikes, played great defense, didn't make an error in any of the games. That's really impressive for opening weekend. And Luke LaCoste, what a huge bright spot he was against Riverside.
Fly ball center field. LaCoste is there. And you mention him, and there he is to take care of the Patriots. Willis out of a jam with no runs and a hit, and a runner stranded for the Patriots. So we're on to the bottom of the first with no scores. The Raiders head toward the dugout, having gotten out of a jam, and here's the batting order for the Archbishop Rummel Raiders at 4-0, presented by First NBC Bank. Trent Tully, multi-sport star, great kid, leads it off catching. Cal Costanza, returning starter, bats second. Darren Willis, the pitcher. Chase FOURCADE, an unfamiliar position in right field, but a heck of a hitter. Lyle Ball is the DH. Kevin Meehan, returning starter at third. Darrell Beast is the first baseman. Zach Cook playing shortstop, and Luke LaCoste in center field. Hunter LeBlanc is the left fielder for the Raiders. And they will oppose the outstanding left-handed offerings of Jacob Snyder. This is a young man that can get it done, Danny. He's a 3-pitch pitcher who's just very good.
And a really good change, going to be really tough, and that's something that the Raiders are going to have their hands full with. Really good changeup. 7 innings pitched in his first start. That's obviously a high school complete game with 15 strikeouts.
And at 6'3", has a good downward plane. Again, he'll throw the fastball, curveball, and changeup. Very easy motion watching him, too.
In that start against Pope John Paul, he only threw 88 pitches. That's really impressive. That means he throws a lot of strikes.
Certainly does. So Snyder will get ready to work here. Aaron in those navy blue tops. And the Raiders will send Trent Tully to the plate to get things started. Yeah, a very strange statistic that each team has their catcher leading off. It's safe to say that neither one of these guys, Colin Carmidel or Trent Tully, fits the typical description of a catcher because both are good athletes who can run.
Yeah, you definitely do not see this very often. Both catchers in leadoff spots, that's for sure.
Fastball away to Tully, who's at 200 with 4 RBI on the year. Did a good job for the Raider basketball team as a point guard this year. Tully takes one down the middle, so it's even at 1-1. You can see that nice, easy motion of Snyder. I like his motion quite a bit. I like the way he finishes as well. Good breaking ball for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Rummel's going to have to do a good job of taking the ball back through the middle. It's one of the keys against the lefty. You don't want to try to do too much. Be willing to go the other way.
Threw it by him. Fastball heats him up for out number one. Really good pitching sequence, and you get a good idea of Snyder right away.
Yeah, and you could see right there he wanted to go get him. He put a little extra something on that fastball to put Tully away. He's just getting loose out there.
Here's Cal Costanza in the dirt with the off-speed pitch. Costanza, returning starter for the Raiders, off to a slow start. 0 for 12, does have 2 RBI, but we saw him last year. He was a good player.
Yeah, Kyle's a good player and an even better young man, and he'll get it going. Can't worry about hitting as much this early in the year. Pitching's always going to be ahead to start.
Outside corner fastball equals the count at 1-1 to Costanza. Very shallow in the outfield, Danny. 1-1. Change up for a strike over the outside edge. It's 1-2. In particular in center field, where Palmer would have to get on his horse if anything's hit well. And the 1-2 pitch. It's 2-2. And I guess part of that is familiarity with ballpark. John Ehret doesn't play here at Kirsch-Rooney very much, whereas this is Rummel's home field.
Yeah, they could have a major problem if something was hit really hard in the gap with where their outfielders are right now.
And the 2-2 pitch. Beat on the ground toward third, foul. Count holding at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the first here. No score. Ken Trahan, Danny Ream with you from historic Rag Sherman Field, Kirsch-Rooney Stadium. And the 2-2. Off speed, popped back here and out of play.
It's a good at-bat by Costanza, staying alive. Fouling some pitches off with 2 strikes, getting to see all of Snyder's pitches. See what he decides to go to right here.
Another from Jacob Snyder. Costanza rips one to right at the right fielder, and there it is. It got by him, and how far will he go? He's going to get at least 3 out of this. Costanza on his way to third.
Less than 2 outs, and these are situations where you got to score this guy. Got to do a job if you're Darren Willis right now.
Took a breaking ball down. Carmadel, nice receiving position. Closes the 5-hole, makes sure that ball doesn't get through. 1-0 the count. Darren, 1 for 10 on the year with 2 RBI. In the dirt, picked by Carmadel. It's 2-0.
Execution is the key. You've got to be able to execute. You get men in scoring position, you need to score them.
On 2-0, Willis doesn't get the fastball. It's 2-1. Again, the outfield doesn't change. They're playing this hitter the same way. 2 balls and a strike. Snyder working quickly with another high, and it's 3-1 with the dangerous Chase FOURCADE on deck.
Yeah, he was really hot opening weekend, hitting .692 coming into today's game. So you definitely would like to get FOURCADE to the plate.
And he missed away, so it's 2 on, 1 out for their best hitter, Chase FOURCADE, as Willis is aboard. Let's see if the outfield moves here. Willis will get a courtesy runner as the pitcher, of course. So he'll come out, and it will be Evan Francione as the courtesy runner at first. And here's Chase FOURCADE. Was their best hitter a year ago, and is clearly their best hitter early on this year.
See if Nick Monica tries to pick a spot maybe to run here, stay out of that double play possibility.
Pitch from Snyder. Smashed to center field. Center fielder is there, though. Making the catch is Palmer. Runner tags from third. He will score. A sacrifice fly for FOURCADE makes it a 1-0 game. Hit it on the screws, but right at Palmer.
That's what you needed right there. Chase, the senior veteran, the leader of this Rummel club, coming up there, man on third, less than 2 outs, get the ball the outfield, and he does it. Right there, you don't want to hit the ball on the ground on the infield because it could be a double play then in. And so the thing right there is you want it to get the ball up in the air, get it to the outfield, score the man from third, and he's able to do just that.
Well, the thing you could see watching the replay is how short he is to the ball. Very short, compact swing. That's what you're looking for at the next level. Throw to first, runner back. Problem is he's already signed to play football and quarterback at Nicholls State. What was he thinking? I'm just having fun with Keith and John. Wonderful people, and Chase is a great kid. Here's a foul back. Good swing by Ball. Looking for his first hit of the year. 0 for 9 with an RBI.
very early in the season. You can't read too much into the offensive side of things right now. Just want to try to get after it every day, get better every day, and as the weather warms up, so will the sticks.
Fast strike and quickly 0-2 now the ball. Bounced it, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Throw to first. Sliding back in safely is Francione. Again, Carmidel really good behind the plate. He's picked that ball cleanly and made a pretty close play of it at first. A ball and 2 strikes. There's Carmidel flashing the sign. Long look, Snyder with a 1-2. Off-speed ball up the middle is a base hit. So Lyle Ball waited beautifully on that off-speed pitch, and that's preparation and coaching. They know Snyder, they've seen him, and they know that he likes to go to those off-speed pitches ahead in the count.
Yeah, great job keeping his hands back, taking it right back through the middle, just like we talked about against the lefty, and that's Ball's first hit of the year. So this is really good for this Rummel lineup for some of these guys to be getting that first hit under their belt, get the pressure off of them a little bit, and try to get things going.
Kevin Meehan, another returning starter, the third baseman, hitting 111 with an RBI. And it's 1-0. Think about the Rummel team. It's a very experienced veteran team. A lot of seniors, Danny.
14 of them. That's a lot for a high school team. 14 seniors playing their last year as Raiders here in 2016.
1-0 is a fast strike. It's 1-1. Outside corner at the knees. Good pitch. So a ball and a strike. 1-0 Rummel here. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Long look by Snyder, and time called as Williams, the shortstop, tried to keep Francione aware of his presence. Good look at Kevin Meehan. One. Off speed, just missed the outer edge. It's 2-1. But you could see Meehan was looking for off speed there, just based on his reaction at the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Another chop towards short. Williams waits on it and safe at second base. Well, you want to come get that ball, Danny, when it's not hit very hard.
Yeah, you want to come flying up into that one. He sat back on his heels, let the ball play him. That one was a slow roller to short. Need to come try to get that one on the grass if you can.
Yeah, he had that high hop on the hop prior to that. With the bases loaded, here's a breaking ball strike. Good pitch to Deist. So this becomes a big out in the ball game for Jacob Snyder and John Ehret.
Oh, it's a huge spot, an extra base hit. A double could potentially clear the bases. So.
There's the 0-1 to Deist, and it's 1-1. And again, the defense, bit of a problem there. And had that high hop on the first hop. That's why you got to come get that one. 1-1 the count. And all 3 runners leading away, and the next one on the way. Threw the fastball by him away, 1-2. That's what happens if you sit off speed. He throws hard enough to be able to beat you with a fastball. He's got Deist in the hole, 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball, fly ball, short center. Center fielder had him played perfectly. Making the catch is Palmer, and the threat is over with a run on 2 hits, an error, and 3 big ones stranded. After 1-0 Raiders on the first NBC Bank Brett Showcase. One pitch. Missing high, 2-1. A little bit overcast here this afternoon, but that's not the worst thing if you're in the field, Danny.
Not at all. Nice and cool out there when it gets like that.
Don't have to flip the shades, perhaps, on those fly balls. Here's the 2-1. And now 3 balls and a strike to Williams. Self on deck. Three balls and 1 strike, and Willis with another on the way. Chop foul over toward the Rummel dugout. And it's full 3-2.
Williams is in there getting his hacks in, that's for sure. Trying to give this Ehret offense a little spark here in the second.
Payoff pitch from Willis to Williams. Fly ball foul left side and out of play. Just beyond the Rummel dugout. So we'll try it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Williams returns to the plate. The shortstop, the senior for the Patriots. Another payoff pitch from Willis, way high. So the leadoff man is on for the 2nd straight inning for Ehret, and that will bring ASHTON Self to the plate.
Well, that's a really nice start, a good at-bat by Williams. He got in there and fought and found his way on. Draws the walk, leadoff man on. Always helps when you get that leadoff man on in an inning.
Self a senior and a 2-way player for the Patriots, pitches as well. He's off to a good start at 300. With 2 RBI. Let's see how Ehret plays it. If they want to run, if they want to bunt. Showing bunt early himself. Rummel starts to move. Pitches away. Here at Kirsch-Rooney, the infield typically plays very fast.
Does. That dirt gets pretty hard when you haven't had a whole lot of rain.
1-0. Stealing second, throw is high, and a stolen base. Well, John Ehret, no doubt, is aware that Chase FOURCADE is not catching. They've stolen both times they've gotten runners aboard. That throw was high and off the mark. Good throw would have had him there. But a stolen base for Williams, and John Ehret again has a runner in scoring position with nobody out.
Good jump. Tully's throw, as you can see, just kind of sails on him. Costanza can't get up in the air enough to pull it down, and the runner in. So now Ehret, man on second, nobody out.
And Willis gets one through there. It's 2-1. No indication of a bunt there. It looks like Self wants to try to drive in a run here on 2-1. Hits it hard but foul right side. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with Stibe on deck. 325 down the lines here at Kirsch-Rooney. It's a big ballpark. 370 to the gaps, 400 to center field. 2-2 on Self. And Willis delivers. Fouled out of play again right side. So good at bats here by Ehret to start the 2nd inning.
Well, the key to offensive baseball is if the opponent scores, you always want to try to answer right back. So Rummel gets that 1 run in the bottom of the 1st. If you're Ehret right here, you want to fight as hard as you possibly can to match that. Every time the opponent scores, you want to be able to answer in some way.
And another. Fly ball right field hit pretty well. FOURCADE on his horse is going to get there. Makes the catch. Runner tags. FOURCADE has a good arm. The throw is cut off and not in time. So runner to third with less than 2 outs again for John Ehret as Williams is there. Good at bat by Self. Worked the count and got the runner advanced.
Moves the runner. Once again for the 2nd straight inning, John Ehret with a man on third, less than 2 outs. Situational hitting.
There's Trevor Stibe, the left fielder, who's 0 for 6. As Kenny Forsang looks on and talks to his base runner, Williams. There's Trevor. Out of play, it's 0-2. Now if you're Willis, this is where can you trust your catcher? You don't have your regular guy back there to throw that breaking ball in the dirt, perhaps?
Oh, you have to. You've got to, you got to play the game. And this would be a big out if Willis can get it. That would get you to 2.
No balls and 2 strikes as Stibe waits for another, and here it is. And he got him swinging. Expanded the zone on a high fastball, and again, when you get ahead in the count, you can go out of the zone, and that's what Willis has done to get 3 strikeouts in this game early on.
Got him to chase, and that's a big out. Now you're a pitch away from getting out of this.
Matt Bonin will bat. Bonin comes in at 0 for 8 on the year. He'll try to get a big 2-out hit. First baseman Deist back in regular depth now, and Willis will continue to work from the stretch. That's by choice. High with a fastball. Some pitchers are more comfortable pitching out of the stretch. Others more comfortable pitching out of the windup. This is a decision they let the pitcher make with a runner third and 2 outs. 1-0. And 1-1. Good look at Matt Bonin. Junior. Infielder and pitches for the Patriots as well. A ball and a strike. Another from Willis. Good hook, fooled him, buckled the knees, and it's 1-2. That's his best breaking ball thus far.
Yeah, that was a good looking pitch. Had Bonin kind of getting himself out of the way on that one. Definitely fooled.
A ball and 2 strikes. And another. And that one hit off the bat. Foul ball. Right around the knob area. And the reason you can tell is if the hitter would have flinched his hand and thrown it up immediately, you would have known, but he didn't do that.
Yeah, if it hit him in the hand, you
would know.
You definitely would know.
Of course, sometimes you can try to sell that too, right? A ball and 2 strikes and another. Breaking ball missed, and it gets away, and this game is going to be tied. And the throw eludes the pitcher. Well, again, that's what I talked about earlier. With a reserve catcher back there, can you trust him to bounce a breaking ball behind in the count? That time it burns Rummel, and we're tied 1-1.
Down in the dirt, Tully not able to stay in front of it. Gets away from him. Good base running there by the Patriots. To see it, no hesitation, and they're on the board.
I think you described it there. It's one of those where you have to shift your weight and try to get in front of it, right?
Just didn't get square to it. Was able to get away from him.
2-2 pitch down the middle and struck him out looking. But the damage done as this game is tied. A run on no hits and nobody left. Bottom of the second coming. We're tied 1-1 on the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase. Traditions presented by Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905. John Ehret coach Kenny Forsang knows the Rummel baseball tradition firsthand. He was part of Rummel's first state championship team in 1974 and also played for a pair of Rummel-based Legion teams and reached the American Legion World Series when American Legion was it. Phenomenal teams that he played on, and there's a good look at Kenny. He was some pitcher for the Raiders back in the day, and a strike is delivered here to Zach Cook to start the bottom of the second by Jacob Snyder, who's back to even in the game. 0-1. Beat on the ground slowly. Snyder gobbles it up. Underhands to first for the out. One gone in the bottom of the second inning.
Now you like that if you're John Ehret. A pitch and an out.
Center fielder, number 7, Luke LaCoste.
And here is Luke LaCoste, who will stand in from center field as Kenny Forsang stares at his alma mater that he's going against here this evening. Played on some unbelievable teams at Rummel, and some of the players he played with. Swung on a miss by LaCoste, who's a really good player himself at .333 with an RBI. Good two-way player for the Raiders. And again, when you think about the Rummel teams, and in particular the pitching staff that Forsang was part of, it's scary. Tapper at the plate following a check swing. It's 0-2. Just reminiscing about Ricky Ziblich and Vincent Dagratola and Matt Bollinger and Kenny Forsang as part of one pitching staff. That was, I mean, that's enough to make you not want to show up. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, unbelievable pitching staff that they had at that time. 0-2 pitch. Missing away. It's 1-2.
There's a good look at Luke LaCoste. He got the start against Riverside on Saturday and threw a complete game. And I tell you what, that had to make Nick Monica feel really good to see Luke do that and put him in a position to help this pitching staff as well as play a great center field for him this year.
Solid player. And the luxury to have in your 9 spot, too. 2-2 the count. LaCoste takes it away, so it's full 3-2 with Tully waiting on deck as they look to turn the lineup over. Payoff pitch. And he's on, so fought back from being behind in the count. He draws the 1-out walk here.
Good at bat there by Luke LaCoste to try to get something here with 1 down in the inning.
Trent Tully, the leadoff hitter, to the plate.
Back to the top of your order.
Tully struck out swinging in the first. LaCoste with the lead. Snyder's high. It's 1-0. These two teams played a really good game a year ago as Kenny Forsang's going to visit the mound. Over at John Ehret, Rummel won 5-4 against Kirk Kelly, who's a really good pitcher for Ehret, who had 105 strikeouts a year ago to lead the Metro. They had a really good 1-2 punch with Kelly and Snyder. They still got Snyder. And a visit complete. And the base runners always go talk to their coaches, too. That's a typical thing on this level.
Everybody getting on the same page here. You might see Luke LaCoste take a shot at swiping a bag.
Move to first, runner back again.
Usually at this level against a lefty, you go first move. If you're going to try to steal second, we'll see if that's what Rummel does. And obviously, John Ehret well aware of the fact that you'd like to get LaCoste down to second base and take that double play out of order.
And another move to first. Well, Kenny Forsang was at Rummel when they had the only undefeated state championship team I've ever recalled in Louisiana. They were undefeated, never lost a game, beat Broadmoor 8-0 in the championship game. Ricky Ziblich pitched a no-hitter. And back to first on the ball missing away. It's 2-0. Base runner really creating havoc here as Snyder, his focus obviously not on the hitter and scuffling a bit. But they were incredible just thinking about some of the players on that Rummel team. Here's the 2-0. That sits high. It's 3-0. It's one of those teams where they signed everybody. I mean, the whole team signed to play college baseball. I mentioned all those pitchers who were unreal. 3-0 the count. And another. And that missed ball 4. So 2 straight walks with 1 out, and Costanza will bat. Matt Bollinger reached AAA. Kenny Forsang reached AA, pitched at Tulane. Benny Dagratola pitched at Tulane. Ziblich at Ole Miss. The catcher, Dominic Jambroni, LSU. Wayne Golden, the third baseman, tremendous player. Jimmy Kropog, shortstop, played at UNO.
It's a heck of a club, huh?
Oh, my goodness. I mentioned Bollinger at first and Chuck Melito and Timmy Richard. And then, of course, in the outfield with Frankie Giudice, who played at LSU, and Ronnie Savoy, who played at ULL. I could go on and on. Here's a ball in the dirt for 1-0. When I say the whole team, I mean the whole team. And, of course, they had an underclassman that played right field, might have been the best hitter in the history of the school, Gus Molespin, who was incredible. 1-0 the count. Check of the runners by Snyder with a 1-0. And there's a strike, a borderline pitch. He gets the call, and it's 1-1. Now, Costanza hit the triple his first time. A line shot to right. The right fielder, Tovar, playing shallow. By the way, he's still shallow, although he's moved back a step or two. Tried to come get it in the air, and it got right by him. He never touched it. On 1-1, Costanza waits. And Snyder steps off. Now, Ehret has also played every one of these Rummel right-handed hitters as opposite field hitters in the outfield, Danny, which is an indication that Snyder's going to work away and that they figure Rummel's going to be going that way. And the wind's blowing in from that direction. Move to first, so they throw behind to the back-end runner. You don't see that often.
That's an interesting, in the first inning, here's another big one. So he's 2 for 2 on the day, and that's how quick it can turn around for you offensively. Great job, just what we talked about earlier in the broadcast, going the other way against the left-hander. Gets that one way out into the right center gap here at Kirsch-Rooney and clears the bases, and the Raiders are up now 3-1.
And a 1-0 count now to Darren Willis, the pitcher, now armed with the lead once more. He walked his first time. From the full windup with the runner over at third. Here it is. Good breaking ball for a strike from Snyder to equal the count. It's a big run down at third, even though it's early in this game. Rummel hasn't been giving up runs, as Danny detailed earlier. 1-1. And that's a strike over the outside edge. Willis says, give me that pitch, and I'll be happy. 1-2 the count. I like umpires that call strikes if the pitches are borderline. 1-2 the count. Catcher sets up away, gets it away, but off the plate. 2-2. Smart pitch, though. Got the call on the previous one, so take another inch off that corner and see if you get another call.
Oh, Snyder's just daring this Rummel lineup to hit the ball to the opposite field.
2-2 pitch. And there it is the other way. Base hit for Willis, and Rummel will take a 4-1 lead. That's just a really good piece of hitting, but you're right. He's pitching to one side of the plate, and they are adjusting very nicely at the plate.
They're doing a really good job, a good approach. Second time through the order. They've all seen him once and really getting some nice swings here. As you see, Willis, that ball, he hit that one right off the ground. That pitch was about to hit dirt when he made contact with it. And singles out in the right. A good piece of hitting with a man in scoring position in less than 2 outs. You don't want to leave those guys hanging out there. You want to score them when you've got the opportunity to do it. And Rummel is getting that done here in the bottom of the second inning.
First pitch. That just missed the inner portion. So that time he came in to FOURCADE, who had the sacrifice fly his first trip to produce his 4th RBI of the young season. Good look at Chase. Outstanding quarterback. 1-0. Change up high. Snap throw to first by Carmadell, and runner is back. 2 balls and no strikes.
There's a good look at Chase FOURCADE out in the outfield today. Unusual sight.
Hits this ball in the air pretty well to center field. Center fielder on his horse. Palmer back. Won't get there. That ball's finding green space. FOURCADE's rounding second. He's motoring to third. He can run pretty well. He's there at third base with an RBI triple and a 5-1 Rummel lead.
A lot of triples so far in this game for the Raiders.
Well, we said it earlier with the way the outfield's positioned,
Absolutely.
Danny.
They're playing right into the hands of balls hit deep or hit into the gap. FOURCADE really gets into this one, and he turned that speed on. Well, it was like hitting a switch on the base path.
Number 18, Lyle Ball.
Lyle Ball.
Runs really well.
Lyle Ball ripped a single his first time to the plate. Takes a breaking ball that just missed the outside edge.
Talk about seeing the pitcher a lot better the second time through the order.
Little doubt about that. This ball's hit toward right by Ball, and pretty well, too. That ball's traveling into the corner. Can you believe another triple's coming? Scoring is FOURCADE. Ball's on his way to third, and yes, sir, he's got a stand-up triple, and Rummel has a 6-1 lead.
This is unbelievable.
I've never seen this many triples in a game, much less than 2 innings. Are you kidding me?
You know, if somebody's trying to hit for the cycle, that's always the toughest thing you got to get. And Rummel's hitting triples like there's nothing to it. But as we mentioned, this Ehret outfield wants to play real shallow, and this is a big park. And if you hit the ball deep or hit it in the gap, the way they're aligned, they're asking for trouble. And this is another situation. Lyle Ball without a hit coming into today's game. He got a base hit up the middle in his first at-bat, feeling good about himself, and triples in his second at-bat. So now you've got Kyle Costanza and Lyle Ball who both were hitless coming into this game, and they're 2 for 2.
Kevin Meehan reached on an error his first time. Another runner down at third to try to pick up. 6-1 Raiders on top. And he took a strike. 1-1.
Meehan's another guy that's going to get going at some point in time. It's just a matter of time. He's played with us on some of our Spice Fall teams, and he can definitely swing the bat.
Took a breaking ball, and it's 2-1.
Now this is a Rummel lineup that when they get going, they could base hit you to death.
Down and out, it's 3-1. I call that a strike? I'm sorry, 2-2. Wow, my bad. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. This one does miss, and it's full 3-2. Well, I got to ask you, Rummel plays in a really good league. How do you see them being able to fare in that league against Brother Martin, who's got a great pitching staff? Jesuit, who's just really good overall. Curtis, a defending state champion. Holy Cross, really talented. Ground ball, guess what? Base hit to right. I mean, they have just worn him out going the other way. That's an RBI single for Meehan. Rummel just had the perfect approach coming into this game against this pitcher.
Well, you know, that's what we talked about earlier against a lefty in general. But then Snyder, he has just been fully committed to throwing the ball away to all of these Rummel right-handed hitters, an entire right-handed lineup. And they've done a great job of letting the ball get deep and hitting it where it's pitched, and they're just wearing out the right side.
This is in the air. Field. Short center, Palmer waiting for the fly ball from Deaston. He'll make the catch. And back to first goes Meehan. Well, that breaks the string. Rummel had what, 7 straight players reach base, and they had 5 straight hits. So Deast is gone. 2 outs, and here's Zach Cook, who started this inning by grounding out to the pitcher. Things look pretty good for Ehret at that stage. Oh, how things have changed.
And they can change quick, but you know, you were talking about the Catholic League, and I tell you what, I get more excited about that race and seeing that play out by the day. I mean, there's some really good baseball teams in that league this year. I mean, it's going to be an absolute dogfight. You're going to see some really good pitching. I think you're going to see some wild, high-scoring games. You're going to get a little bit of it all.
1-0 pitch. Good changeup, swung on and missed. That's the changeup we heard about right there. That's the best one he's thrown. Even though you think you might know it's coming, if you're deceptive in the motion, it's going to be tough to hit. 1-1 the count. And another. Strike is called. It's 1-2. Good pitch.
That was the breaking ball that he went to right there for strike 2 to Cook. It's been a really good offensive inning, though, for Rummel.
1-2 the count. Here it comes. Way high and outside. It's 2-2. Two and 2 the count. Another on the way. Runner goes, swinging a fly ball into center for Palmer. Coasting back, gets there, and he puts it away. Rummel bats around, and the Raiders come up with 6 runs on the innings, 5 hits, and they strand a runner and lead 7-1 going to the 3rd. NBC Bank Prep Showcase is presented by Delary Camarda Realtors, dedicated to going the extra mile to help you make the most of your real estate experience. Call 504-875-3555 or visit NOLAHomefinder.com. Ready to roll in the third. Rummel up 7-1 on John Ehret. Willis delivers and a pop foul out of play to get things started here in the top of the third inning. This is Brent Rodriguez, the designated hitter for John Ehret.
If you're Darren Willis, throw a ton of strikes, challenge this Ehret lineup, let your defense play. Big lead, you need to pitch with it.
1-1 the count.
Just pound that zone here. Don't want to give him any life. Got him on the ropes right here, up 7-1 after the big 6 spot in the bottom of the second. Want to go right at him.
Here's the 1-1. Over but high, and it's 2-1. Two-one pitch, and now 3-1. Well, the leadoff man's been on both innings for John Ehret. Willis has not been particularly sharp thus far, though he's struck out 4, and he's behind here 3-1. And he walks the leadoff man. So 3 straight times Ehret's had the leadoff man aboard. And that will get the leadoff man in the lineup, Colin Carmadell, to the plate.
Number 17, Colin Carmadell.
Carmadell singled, stole a base, was stranded back in the first inning. Kenny for saying.
Number 1, Jordan Bullock, right in first base.
Courtesy runner Bullock, who ran earlier, will run again. Jordan Bullock. And I'm not sure what he's talking about. As Bullock came in to run previously, and not sure if he's out there to pinch run or a courtesy run here, but he's out there regardless. Again, with these rules, Danny, who knows, right? Long discussion. That's over with. And here's Carmadell trying to get something going for Ehret, but he hits the first pitch straight up into right field. FOURCADE will yield to the center fielder, LACOSTE, who makes the catch for out number 1. Now, LACOSTE is accustomed to being out there, so center fielder's normally going to take control. FOURCADE's used to controlling the game, so you got to basically put chains on him to keep him away from the ball, right?
Need good communication out there, that's for sure. It looks like Jordan Bullock is in the game as a pinch runner now. He's over there at first, so he's actually in the game.
Right, that was the discussion, I'm sure. So there's a ball down to Palmer, who struck out swinging his first time. Way high, 2-0. He hasn't had the kind of command that you would want to see, at least early on in this game.
Yeah, and especially like we just mentioned. Here comes Jacob Snyder, the pitcher.
Number 18, Jacob Snyder.
Here's Snyder, struck out his first time, swinging back in the first when Ehret had a real shot to get something done. Good breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, good little spinner there. Get things started to the 3-hole hitter, Snyder.
Threw the fastball by him down. It's 0-2. Late on that one to the screen, and it holds 0-2 on Jacob Snyder.
Willis trying to get that fastball by him. They weren't really playing around. You don't have to at this stage.
Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball from Willis. His 5th strikeout of the game. Ehret strands a runner. There's second left. We're on to the bottom of the third. 7-1 Raiders on the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase. And our fact of the game is brought to you by Dellery Camarda Realtors. John, Ehret, and Rummel were two of 7 schools from Southeast Louisiana play for a state title in football last December. Unfortunately, they couldn't face each other because of the split in football, which is soon to be part of the baseball scenario as well. But 2 great football programs, no doubt. John, Ehret, and Archbishop Rummel. Here in the bottom of the third, the Raiders up 7-1, and Luke LaCoste takes a strike from Snyder to get it started. LaCoste walked to start that big 6-run second inning. Good look at Luke. 1-1 to count. We're very fortunate now to be joined by a good and great friend, Joe Sherman, the head baseball coach here at Delgado Junior College, architect of this field, stadium, second generation, with his third generation here to take care of business upstairs while he's taking care of business on the field. Joe, it's good to have you with us.
People complaining, so we did the bathrooms over and the lights, and Tyler gets credit for that.
Okay.
And then I did the batting cage and the bullpen, and we'll take a little credit for that. So we're trying to do something every year, Kenny. It's a rob Peter to pay Paul situation over here. We don't want to tax our budget. We don't want to tax the school, but we've been very fortunate. We've been very fortunate to get a lot of help from a lot of people in the community. The school board you're looking at online here is second to none at our level, and probably in the top 10 in the country at the Division I level.
And the new hitting cages as well, a welcome addition out of the elements here as LaCoste drew a leadoff walk and draws a throw to first as Trent Tully bats. He walked and scored in the second. He's 0 for 1 as Rummel's turned the lineup over once more here, leading 7-1 in the bottom of the third, visiting with Joe Sherman. Tully takes one down the middle. No balls and a strike. Hitting cage is obviously a welcome addition. You mentioned the scoreboard with a color art now. That's really nice. I even see a miles per hour feature on the scoreboard.
Yeah, we don't use that too much.
Okay.
Kenny. You only use that when you got guys that throw hard enough to use it. So we like to hide that feature a little bit, but it's like I said, it's state of the art. We're gonna have by the end of the summer probably some replay cameras installed here, so we'll actually be able to show replay and some live video and do some streaming work online with maybe the help of your organization, and we're very excited about the capabilities and what we can bring to the park. I think the experience here is getting better. We're trying to, like I said, we try to improve the restrooms for the fans and the lighting for the fans, and we always try to do something to improve the field.
Runner LaCoste had a gigantic jump. He could have walked into second base, but swinging on the pitch was Tully, and it's fouled, and it's 1-2. The press box, of course, state of the art, and renamed for Otto Schultz, who is a wonderful gentleman whom we all knew and had so much respect for. And so when you walk up to this press box now, you're greeted by the sign, Otto Schultz press box.
He was a great friend of our family and a great friend of mine, and worked with me for 25 years here, Kenny, and we definitely miss him.
Strange not to see his presence here when you walk in.
He was my ultimate second guesser. I used to tell my wife I must have done a good job today because Mr. Otto didn't tell me I should have bunted or I should have took the pitcher out. But he meant no harm by it. He really I'll never forget the first day I was coaching here. After the game, he walked up and he had a folded piece of paper. And I said, "What you got there, Otto?" He said, your daddy wanted me to give you this. And it was a list of the things that Rags had second guessed during the game. And when my dad passed away, I think Otto felt compelled that he should do the same. So he used to not fold up on a piece of paper, but he'd often ask me on the bus rides home or after the game why I did certain things, and always took it to heart because he definitely knew the game a little bit.
Good man. As Tully walks, it's 2 on, nobody out, and here's Kyle Costanza, who's looking to do something that I don't believe we've ever seen as we look at the off-season improvements, the batting cages, the video board, the LED lighting, new bullpens, too, as the outfield fences jut out now to allow bullpen action behind the fences and the press box that we alluded to. Now, Costanza's batting, here's a unique situation. He's got back-to-back triples in this game, and look at the right fielders move back a little bit now, Danny. He got burned twice, once in the first inning by a line shot.
I was sitting up here earlier today when you all were talking about the depth of the outfield, and that, like you said, Kenny, that's from not playing in a spacious ballpark.
I mentioned that early on.
Ehret not as large as Kirsch-Rooney, and I think the outfielders didn't really know where they were supposed to play. And to Kenny Forsang's credit, it's tough to see down that level how deep they really are. So I think you said it. He said it best. They learned from their mistakes and now are playing probably appropriately.
Costanza took it high. It's 2-0. I don't think I've ever seen anybody have 3 triples in one game individually. So he's got a chance to do something
I remember
rare.
a Rummel Raider,
okay,
who's I think related through marriage on my brother's side of the family. A young man named Mr. Robinson who hit 2 grand slams in one game, I think, or was it 3 for Rummel?
Oh,
way
wow.
back when.
That I don't know.
Yeah, was it?
There
yeah,
you go.
There you go.
Robbie Robinson in 1983. Amazing that Lenny Van Gilder would know that.
The reason I know that is because he's my brother, my brother's brother-in-law, and he tells me every Christmas I knew he was.
As long as he didn't do it against Redemptorist, right?
No, that's right. That's
okay.
right. It was at Bonneville High School. I always tell him that should be put out.
That's a disqualifier?
That's definitely that center field fence is almost not fair.
And the strike call at Costanza, it's 3-1. I don't care where you hit him. That's pretty impressive.
Well, the impressive thing is he came up 3 times with the bases loaded, much less they hit him. That's right. I think he hit 2 in 1 inning. I think he hit 2 in 1 inning and 3 for the game, I think is what he tells me.
Unreal. He had a season in one night. 3-1 pitch. Costanza this time isn't going to triple. Fly ball to right field for Tovar, who puts it away.
You know, Rummel's really off to a great start, Danny, and you can see why. They used the whole field offensively. I mean, they did a great job with this left-hander from Ehret. He was living on the outer half of the plate, and all their hits were the right side.
And he's a pretty good pitcher.
Yes, he is. I think he's committed to Southern University.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, you know, they're doing a super job going with the pitch.
How's your club doing, Coach?
We're off to a 10-4 start. We could probably be 12-2 and very easily be 8-6. So you know, we're pleased. We played a lot of games in the first 2 weekends, Danny, and when you play 6 games in a weekend, your pitching gets stretched a little bit. My biggest concern coming into the year was the depth that we had on the mound. But we're really pitched the ball well. I can't complain. We really struggled offensively this weekend on the road. But that's part of the growing process. We start 8 new players, 8 first-year players, and 7 freshmen. So, you know, we need to get some experience in a hurry. That's the biggest thing you miss at the junior college level. You either have a very experienced team or 0 experience.
Runners are going here. Double steal, no throw. The ball was in the dirt. No chance for Carmona, who actually picked it. He's a pretty good catcher, by the way.
Yeah, he's a pretty nice-looking athlete. You're definitely right. He stole the base early in the game. Got a base hit to lead off the game. Does a nice job for Kenny.
So LaCoste and Tully on the double steal, and they're at second and third now, and a foul back by Willis makes it 1-2. That's why it's a big double steal.
This is a young man that I really like, Darren Willis. I mean, he does everything pretty well. Put him at shortstop. He's a great shortstop. You put him on the mound, he competes. Always does a nice job at the plate. Doesn't try to get outside of his abilities, and he's going to make somebody a nice college player.
1-2 pitch. Hard hit ball is short. Nice pick by Williams, and no, he can't hold it. So a run will score, and it's an 8-1 ball game. Ball was hit hard, and he's in on the grass, so it's not an easy chance at all.
Hit like a rocket there by Darren Willis, and you know, Rummel's been very impressive today offensively, as Coach mentioned. You see it again. Just hits that one right on the screws. The shortstop can't keep it in front of him, and the Raiders get another one on the board. So, Coach, on the mound, I know you've got some new faces. I think one of them is Jace Neaney from the Catholic League over at Shaw.
He's really done a great job for us. Danny, he's probably our number one. We moved a young man named Fontenot, who was our closer last year. We moved him to our starting rotation. He's been our number 2 guy. And we have the Hammond kid from John Curtis, who really has been really good for us. He has a little tender arm early in the year, so we're kind of babying him through his first couple starts with pitch limits and that kind of thing. But, you know, those are going to be our 1, 2, 3 guys on the bump for us. And a young man named Adams from East Ascension who came in, who is right now our 4th starter. But once we get into conference play, we'll get to a 3-man rotation. Really the biggest surprise for us in the fall on the mound has been our closer, kid that really came out of nowhere, transferred from Nicholls State, and Connor Whalen, who really has been super for us. I think he's 4 for 4 in sales and saves for us so far.
0-2 to Fourcade, Rummel's best hitter, and he shoots this one into right field. That's going to be caught by the right fielder. So that time playing shallow benefited Ehret, as Tovar was right there to make the catch of a pretty hard hit ball for the second out.
I know one thing, Seth Thibodeau over there in Thibodeau is going to make sure that spring football practice and baseball is scheduled. This kid's a nice baseball player. Do a lot of things, swings the bats. Not a,
he's a real good player. He's a Division I player,
yeah,
he's signed to play football.
Yeah, he's a legit player. I like him in the outfield. I like him out there in right field. To be quite honest with you, he's going to be a good player for Nicholls State. He'll play for Nicholls State, I guarantee you. He'll baseball that.
I think they want him to play, but he's so sold on football. And the opportunity there, we'll see. What a great kid, though. I mean, goodness gracious.
Great family.
I say it all the time. You encounter this kid, you can't help but smile and like him. He's always happy.
Something that nobody really understands until you coach. The competitive edge that cannot be taught. It just comes with you, or you don't have it. You either have it or you don't have it. But that young man right there, his whole family has a competitive edge.
There's a swing and a miss, turned over a nice changeup there. That's his best pitch, his changeup. Snyder.
Yeah, he does a nice job. I mean, he's going to be a situational left-hander at the Division I level, but he competes. Again, he's got that moxie about him that you can't teach.
0-2 the count. Snyder is ready with the pitch high, and it's 1-2. Raiders up 8-1 here in the bottom of the third. And good look at Keith Fourcade standing, John Fourcade sitting, Taylor Fourcade to the right.
Taylor's a special kid.
He
was a student at Delgado. I think he's finished now.
This ball's hit pretty well by Ball to left. Left field will never get there. That's over his head. 1 run is home. 2 runs are going to score. Lyle Ball, as the lights come on, the lights go on for him today because he's got 3 hits now. And Rummel has just expanded the lead by 2. Well, he came in without a hit, but you can see he could swing the bat when we saw him over the weekend.
Big thing, but we'll see it here. Well, we were going to see it there. But, Coach, I mean, that's one of the things, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way. Early in the year, you're more concerned with just playing the game the right way. Because as like I always say, as the weather heats up, the bats usually heat up as well.
The biggest thing, Danny, that these kids struggle with, and I have it going on in my program right now, hitters up their batting average. And like you said, pitchers are going to be ahead of hitters early in the year. But here's the most important thing. Everybody starts with a 0.00 batting average. So once you go 0 for 2 or 0 for 3 or 1 for 5, you start to worry, man, am I ever going to get back up to 300? And you start to press, you start to do things that you can't really do. You get outside of your game, and that's when you struggle. Once these kids start to play every day and they start to forget about their batting average, all of a sudden it catches up to them. And I think the Costanza kid, was the case coming in. Ball kid, another example. WILLIS, I don't think had a bunch of hits early in the year. They're all going to get their share of hits. They just got to relax and, like you said, play the game.
0-2 the count here. And a foul out of play.
It's really amazing how one hit can get that monkey off your back, so to speak. And you've seen it today. Costanza went, as we've talked about, from hitless to having 2 triples, and Ball from hitless to having 3 for 3 day.
There's a song about that, huh? Something spark starts a fire or something like that.
I don't know. I'm a music aficionado, and you've stumped me. Come on,
Tyler plays it all the time.
Well, that's why. There's a line drive base hit left center field. He's going to score a run. Palmer over to cut it off. On his way to second base, Meehan, the throw will not get him. It's an RBI double and an 11-1 lead for Rummel. So Meehan has 2 hits. But as you mentioned, Danny, these guys are good players. They're going to hit, and we're seeing that today.
Yeah, this Rummel lineup, it's a veteran squad. Meehan getting his 2nd hit of the day. He's played for us, as I mentioned, on some fall teams with the New Orleans Spice, and he can swing the bat. So, I mean, he's going to be a good player for them this year. They're a veteran club, and this lineup could really be pretty potent if they all get clicking at the same time.
Breaking ball strike. And Snyder gets ahead of Deast, who's flied to center twice.
See that? Tyler right on top of it. Can't start a fire without a spark, dancing in the dark.
Oh, okay. Well, you talking about Bruce Springsteen?
Oh, come on.
I mean, you got to get the name of the song right, and maybe I'll be with you. Fly ball to right field, and that's caught by Tovar, and the inning is over. So in the inning, it's another 4 spot for Rummel. The Raiders get it done on 3 hits. They strand a runner. Joe Sherman, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you throughout the year, I'm sure.
You got it, my friend. 11-1 Rummel. Back in a moment on the first NBC. This portion of the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase is presented by Gibbs Construction, a leader in the construction industry in Louisiana and in the Gulf Coast for 35 years. Transforming dreams, visions, and plans into reality. Gibbs Construction. At Kirsch-Rooney Stadium, top of the fourth inning. Darren Willis in good shape here for a win, up 11-1. Raiders with 10 hits, 1 for the Patriots. And here in the fourth, John Ehret will have Chad Clement, Jeff Williams, and Ashton Self against Willis, who thus far has fanned 5. He's walked 2 and works to Clement, who flew out to center his first trip, and takes a strike to get it started. It's great to welcome a good and great friend to the telecast now, Sheena Smith, the athletic director at John Ehret High School. Sheena, good to see you as always.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Wish I had more runs on the board, though, right now.
On your side, yeah, all right, I got you.
Yeah.
There's a strike call. It's 0-2. Listen, Kenny Forsang's a really good coach. This is a team that was second in its league last year. They're going to be fine.
We are, and the big thing is last year we lost that our big left-hander, Kurt Kelly, and him and Jacob really just kind of balanced out each other, and you had that kind of 1-2 punch when you're going into a week of games. And now Jacob's just kind of on that island by himself, and we're trying to piece together a decent bullpen or piece together some games with our other pitchers that are very young. And when I say young, we're talking about freshmen, sophomore guys that's never really pitched on the high school level. So we got a lot of growing up to do, I can say that.
How about that John Ehret softball team and program? How about that coach?
Yeah, that coach, she's a nice lady. I know her very well.
Young team, right?
Definitely we have a young team, 9 freshmen, sophomore pitcher, sophomore catcher. Really, they are the ones that are leading the team. I have a junior third baseman that can tear the cover off the ball anytime she hits it. And I think if she was here right now, she could probably put some runs on the board for us.
Wow.
I mean, I can tell you this. My girls can hit. Now, we might give up 10 runs a game, but we're going to try to score 15.
I love that honest assessment. Visiting with Sheena Smith, the athletic director at John Ehret. It's 2-2 the count on Jeff Williams here, who walked and scored the Ehret run back in the second inning. Good look at Jeff as he stands in from the right side. And Darren Willis ready with the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball back to where it came from, and Willis will run over and flip it underhanded for the second out. Now, it's been a wonderful year for John Ehret football team back in the state championship game for the first time since 1985. And it was a special season for Corey Lambert and his team. I know you're very proud of that, and it brought a lot of recognition to your school.
Yeah, it really did. It just showed that, you know, that teamwork that we had with that 0-9 season, and those guys were freshmen, and how far they've come as seniors. And we had 10 guys off of that team signed Division I scholarships. So it's a great, it really just shows that hard work really pays off, and they just kind of stuck with it, didn't really give up on themselves, didn't give up on each other, and it really showed.
And so many young men getting a chance to advance and play college football at the next level. That was a wonderful day for you, too.
Yeah, it was. I was so proud to see how far they've come, because I'm talking not just on the football field. I'm talking grades, discipline. They just really stepped their game up, and they really did earn every bit of those scholarships and their diplomas and that district championship, that runner-up spot in the state. They really did work hard and earn every bit of that.
I was wondering if you had enough seats on the stage for all those kids. I mean, that's an unbelievable
We
number
had to
of
move
kids.
it. We used to have it in one of our little auditoriums in our little multi-purpose room, but we had to move to the cafeteria. So
Here's a strikeout and hits the runner, so he's safe at first, and the inning will continue. So a strikeout and wild pitch will allow the inning to continue as Self reaches. So how many kids again? It was like
it was 10.
10, yeah. I mean,
10 kids. And early, Jacob actually started off the year with signing to Southern. So he kind of started off that whole thing, and then we signed a couple of track girls early, and then the football team. So we're looking for our soccer guys to come up. We had a few guys that do very well in soccer as well. So they play a little bit of club soccer, and they're getting some looks, so we're looking for that as well. So hopefully we can have a good little set of athletes going on to the next level from Ehret.
Trevor Stibe fouled the first pitch back. It's 0-1 and took a good hook for a strike. It's 0-2. And, of course, basketball programs, basketball season just concluding as well. These are good times at John Ehret and in Jefferson Parish, aren't they?
Definitely. We just got a new girls basketball coach. It was her first season. She's got a lot of growing pains to do as well.
As time gets hit by a pitch, so 2 on, 2 outs. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So she's just, she's got a lot, go through a lot of growing pains, and she's got a lot of new girls, and she's going to have a new team next year, and she's willing to put in the work and take those lumps early to build a program. So I'm happy to have her around.
Well, it's a really good school with a lot of great things happening on the West Bank at John Ehret High School, and I've been blessed to be around it for quite some time now and seen some of the really good people, young men, women, and coaches that have gone through there. Here's a foul out of play by Bonin, who struck out his first time. A chance for Ehret here, 2 on, 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning, and Bonin, who struck out his first time, looking with a chance to try to get something done here with 2 outs. Lights, of course, came on in the last inning here at Kirsch-Rooney on what is an overcast day, but as pleasant as can be here in the Lakeview area. Fouled at the plate, so it's no balls and 2 strikes. And clearly the program at Ehret is in great shape across the board in athletics. School's in good shape. You got my friend Carl Nini now running athletics in Jefferson Parish, succeeded by a great friend Manny Baracco. Carl's son now playing here in Delgado. We just talked about him a few minutes ago.
And actually, Coach Nini's wife is one of our assistant principals at Ehret. So, his father is our plant manager. So he's the guy that's cleaning up and doing our baseball and softball field right now. So it's definitely a family event over there at John Ehret. Actually, Carl Nini was my high school softball coach. So that relationship goes way back. So every time I go in his office and I ask him for something and he tells me no and I throw a fit, I said, just remember that you created this. You created this.
You had a chance to stop it.
Right, you had a chance to stop it when I was 14 and you didn't. So now you can't complain.
I love when that happens, man. Yeah, relationships that endure for a lifetime. That's a perfect example of it. 1-2 pitch and a swing and a miss struck him out. And tagged out by Tully, so the inning's over. Sheena, thank you so much for coming by. It's great to have John Ehret showcased here. And we're happy to do it, and we thank you for everything that you do. Thank you. On to the 5th, 11-1 Rummel on the first NBC Bank Showcase. Schedule brought to you by Park Lakewood Apartments, Holy Cross, and St. Thomas Aquinas. Tigers are really good, and St. Thomas Aquinas is outstanding. Slidell and Archbishop Shaw, another really good matchup. 2 teams in green that can get it done. We look forward to that one as well. And Destrehan and Hahnville, the annual rivalry game, ready to roll there too. And this pitching change is brought to you by All-State agent Glenn Liuzza as the Patriots go to the bullpen. And this is Gerard Coates, the left-hander, who takes over for Jacob Snyder. Well, first of all, Jacob Snyder's a much better pitcher than what we saw today. You got to give Rummel a lot of credit. They had a perfect approach to him.
Great approach. You know, he was trying to live on that outer part of the plate, and the Rummel hitters just did a great job of adjusting to it, and they were all willing to go the other way, and he really started just daring them. I mean, he stayed out there. He was trying to live out there, and these Rummel hitters had to go that way, and they were able to do it, and that's why they've got some big numbers on the scoreboard.
So a good look at Gerard Coates, who's on. And Gerard Coates on the year has pitched 1 inning, allowed 2 hits, 7 runs. So it was a struggle. He walked 6 in that game, so it was a struggle for him. This will be a baptism of fire. Good experience against a good club here.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a great, and this is going to be good for this Ehret ball club because you get these kind of games early on. You see this quality competition only makes you better when you get around the district play.
So Coach gets a visit from his catcher, Carmodell. And the Raiders have made some changes as well, which we'll tell you about. And we're ready to roll here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Zach Cook will lead it off for the Raiders. Cook is 0 for 2. He's grounded out, and he's flied out as well. And he takes one for a strike. So Coach able to get ahead here on the first hitter he faces. Here's Zach Cook. Coach with the 0-1. Outside and low, 1-1. Kind of pushes it a little bit, doesn't he, Danny?
Sure does.
A ball and a strike. Good look at Coates. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. And he hit him in the back. So runner aboard to get things started for Rummel in the bottom of the 4th inning. As Cook is aboard. And the Raiders will send Luke LaCoste to the plate. LaCoste has batted twice, walked twice, stolen a base, and scored twice. Coach nods yes. And the move to first, and no problem for Cook. I don't think Rummel's running here up by 10, though, in the 4th inning. Unless they want to work on something. Clement, the first baseman, holding him on.
Well, Rummel's been doing a really good job of getting guys on and scoring runs, and look like they're back to the same old thing here in the bottom of the 4th that they've been doing all day, just getting guys on to start off innings or getting guys on with only one out in the inning and then making things happen from there.
A ball and no strikes. And you can see how he just stayed back on the ball. That's what Rummel's done all day. Looking to go the other way against left-handers who aren't overpowering. 1-1 the count. They just came in totally committed to that approach, and it's worked beautifully. 1-1 the count on LaCoste. A lot of hitting room through that right side. And look how deep the right fielder is now. This is toward third. Brown gets one, and a relay not in time. So the force play at second base. LaCoste will run at first now with one out.
Always looking to at least get that lead out. So Ehret able to do that there. Never assume a double play. Just want to make sure you get that good feed to get things started. Make sure you get that first out.
And the Raiders will have a new batter up there. This is Charlie Beck, a junior that will bat here. Charlie Beck hitting in the spot that was occupied by Tully. So Charlie Beck getting an opportunity for Rummel. Tully was 0 for 1 with a couple of walks, a stolen base, and 2 runs scored, and now Beck gets the opportunity here. There's Charlie, 5'10", 177-pound junior for Frank. I know I was going to say Frank. Nick Monica. Close enough. Not really, but I'm having fun nonetheless. I don't think he minds. Pitches away for a ball, which reminds us that, we send our best to Wayne Stein and Ty Monica and the entire staff at St. Charles Catholic for the, the damage they incurred via the tornado. I mean, they are resilient. They bounced right back, didn't they?
Yeah, they were hosting games on the baseball diamond over the weekend. So
2-0 the count. Last weekend they did so, and it was something to behold. Really impressive.
Yeah, really unfortunate with that bad weather that came through the entire area, specifically really bad out in Laplace. So hats off to those guys for finding a way to make it happen for those young men and continue to be able to play the schedule that they were planning on playing.
Yeah, a lot of people willing to step up and help. You find out how good people are. Lutcher certainly did so. 3 balls and no strikes on Beck. And another. And he swings at the 3-0 and fouls at 3-1. Look, you come off the bench and you're up by 10. Coach, I want to swing the bat. I'm not taking 3-0. Now, if Phil Greco was coaching, he'd had him taking 3 strikes probably, because he's not a baseball coach. Some people would say he wasn't a football coach either, but then, no, I'm just kidding. That's a 3-1. That's a shot up the middle, a base hit. Nice job by Beck of waiting on that off-speed pitch, and he hammers it to center. So it's 2 on and 1 out as Beck is aboard. Now, big shout-out to Phil Greco. He's a great friend, but he's a terrific guy. He's done a magnificent job at Rummel as athletic director. And we have Rummel telecast coming up as Beck delivers that one to center nicely. And we'll get Phil on at some point.
Seen a lot of.
We'll try not to lose ratings too much in the process, but it's a heck of a deal.
We've seen a lot of first hits of the year for plenty of these Rummel Raiders. That was Beck's first, but that was also his first at-bat of the year. So
well, he's batting 1,000.
Good job for Charlie Beck coming in there off the bench, 1 for 1 now.
Love seeing it as we have another new hitter here. This is Keith Bender, who's batting for Rummel for the first time. A good look at Keith Bender hitting in the spot that Costanza was in previously. With 2 on, 1 out, Bender waits from the right side. And doesn't get it.
This is Bender's first at-bat of the season. So Nick Monica taking advantage of the opportunity to get some new faces in there. And that's always something you try to do as a coach, whether parents want to believe it or not. you're always trying to find spots to get guys in games. And nobody wants to sit on the bench and watch. They want to play. That's why you're a baseball player.
This is a wild pitch back to the screen, so the runners will advance to second and third with a 1-2 count.
So, that's always something that I know is always on my mind. If I can get a guy in, you want to do that. Nick's doing the same thing right here, getting these guys a chance to get an at-bat here at the varsity level.
Keeps everybody motivated, ready. 1-2 the count. Runners second and third, and Bender into left center field. That's going to get at least 1 home, if not more. It's going to get 2 because it splits the outfielders. 1 run is home. Bender's on his way to second. He's there with a 2-run double, and Rummel's increased his lead to 13-1. Put me in, Coach. I'm ready to play.
Another first hit of the year. There's been a bunch of those today.
Really impressive by Bender, and the extra base hit machine continues for Rummel here today.
Pitcher number 3, down.
Bender swinging it hard there. You could see he really put some effort into that swing and got a good piece of it and drives it all the way deep out into the left center field gap.
So runner at second now with 1 out. Darren Willis, he's 2 for 2. Takes it away. He's walked, singled twice, scored twice, driven in 2. And is, of course, on his way to a victory on the mound. Rummel's earned run average is going to go up today because they've given up a run. And pretty impressive when you look at those numbers through one weekend when you got a 0.75 ERA as a team. 1-0. This is hit pretty hard to center field. Palmer's on his horse, and he got there. Nice play by Palmer. He's done a good job in center field. That's the second out of the inning. First time they've gotten Willis, who hit it on the screws.
Yeah, hit that ball extremely well. Wrong part of the park.
And now with 2 outs, we'll see another new swinger in the game. This is Jake Fury, who came in to catch last half inning, replacing FOURCADE in the lineup. No, FOURCADE was not catching. So here's Jake Fury, part of a legacy family at Rummel, and a very impressive one at that, with Blaine Fury, Matt Fury, Nate Fury. And now Jake. Lefty-lefty matchup. Good pitch for a strike. Jake, defensive lineman in football, looking for an opportunity this coming season to continue that family legacy. 0-1 the count. Sophomore at 6 feet, 210 pounds. And another. Good breaking ball for a strike from Coach, so he quickly gets ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. I know you're familiar with Blaine, the father, of course, and then Matt Fury and Nate Fury, really good ball players. Fine young men.
Yeah, Jake played for me on the 2014 JPRD East World Series championship team, and he was a 14-year-old and a 15-year-old team that year, and just a really good young man. Does anything you ask of him.
0-2 is fisted, and I do mean fisted to first. Handled by Clement, who makes the play unassisted, inning over. Rummel gets 2 more on a couple of hits, and they strand 2 on to the 5th. Last chance for Ehret, trailing 13-1. Of the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase is presented by Park Lakewood Apartments, located on the west bank of St. Charles Parish, a short commute to New Orleans. Park Lakewood Apartments. Rummel very impressive today. They've been very impressive early in the season as they carry a 13-1 lead over John Ehret into the top of the fifth inning. Darren Willis trying to finish what he started, looking for the complete game here. And, of course, if Rummel can hold a 10-run lead or more through this half inning, it's over by the mercy rule, and that's what Willis will try to accomplish with some different players in the field. As Jordan Bullock leads it off for Ehret, and he takes a strike called. So Willis gets ahead of Bullock, who has his first at-bat. He entered the game earlier as a pinch runner and stayed in the DH role. And fouls it right side out of play, so it's 0-2. Willis with 7 strikeouts in the game. He's walked 2 and hit a batter.
Keep filling up that zone right here.
Cuts this one away. It's 1-2.
Get that first out.
And the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, and it's 2-2.
It's been a really good game for Rummel from plenty of different aspects, but you know, to get the guys hitting like they have today, guys that needed to get those first hits and get themselves feeling more comfortable at the plate and confident, and then to get Willis his first start of the year, let him knock the rust off a little bit and get a good start here. This has been a good midweek game. They're going into a tough tournament.
Well, the things that get my attention early in the season, I mean, hitting obviously is what they were looking for, and laying up as the strikeout number 8 for Willis takes place as he gets Bullock for out number 1, and Carmodell will bat. The things that really get your attention early in the season, they came in with that 0.75 earned run average, and right now they've given up just 1 run in this game. And then the other note on the scoreboard that gets your attention, Danny, is, again, no errors for Rummel in the game. Strike is called. It's 0-1. Now, their defense really hasn't been challenged in this game. Looking at the outs recorded, just 1 ground ball out in the game. And in this ballpark, you want to hit the ball on the ground. It's a big park, and it's a fast infield. So ball is low, 1-1. Colin Carmodell with a single, and he's flying to center. He's got the only hit of the game, and that was to lead off the ball game, if you recall. This is chopped up the middle. He can run, too. Let's see if he can get there. They play by the second baseman, but thrown low. So there's an error. I just put the mouth on him, right? Rummel makes an error on the throwing error here by the second baseman, who is Costanza. So he had time there, too. I think he might have rushed it a little bit, but he threw that one in the dirt. So the first error on Rummel.
Ball was pretty well hit up the middle. Chopper ground ball. Costanza just throws it down a little bit too low. Deese not able to pick it for him.
We'll get a pinch runner at first, a courtesy runner for John Ehret.
Stewart, the runner at first base for Ehret.
Stewart will run at first base. Good look at Stewart as he gets his lead. Down a ball, 1-0. Makes Willis throw some more pitches. Aaron Palmer is struck out, and he's popped to short. And the 1-0 pitch. Foul back to the screen, 1-1. Danny Ream will, when this one's over, talk to some stars of the game as well as the winning coach. This one's not over yet. Ehret can extend it if they can score 3 here. Got 1 on with 1 out. And the 1-1 pitch. Just missed the inner edge, 2-1. Fury, big kid, looks to have a pretty good arm back there. Just watching him. And the 2-1. Just missed the outer edge. It's 3-1. Could be an opportunity for him, Danny, with FOURCADE graduating and Tully graduating. 3 balls and a strike. Willis walks him, 2 on, 1 out.
Catcher of the future for the Raiders back there right now.
Not what Nick Monica wanted to see here. An error preceding a walk, and now 2-on-1 out for Jacob Snyder.
Number 18, Jacob Snyder.
Struck out twice. He is their best hitter, though. Rummel hopes for the double play ball to end it. Strike is called. Willis gets ahead. Rummel goes on to play in an extremely challenging tournament this weekend, the Trey Altick tournament at West Monroe. Hard hit ball right side. First baseman flags it, gets one, and no relay. So a 3-6 put out. And 2 are gone here. One more for Rummel to secure a win.
That's what you're looking for right here. Huge lead, 12-run lead. Make sure of an out. You're just playing to get outs at this point.
Good job by Darrell Deese to make sure they get the out, which he did at second base. Here's Chad Clement, who's flied to center and struck out. Can anybody get there? No, off the glove. And a run scores. This game's still alive. It's a 13-2 ball game as Chad Clement is able to get one in there for an RBI single, an unearned run, but it counts. As the right fielder Tully got a glove on it, but he could not make the catch.
Yeah, he got there, just couldn't pull it in.
So a little bit sloppy here for Rummel in the end, trying to finish this one.
The shortstop, number 4, Jeff Williams.
And now Jeff Williams.
Fisted a little bit, and Tully got there, which was a long way to come, and just couldn't pull it in. One of those ones in between the infielder and the outfielder.
This is hard hit, and that's a great play. Can he throw him out? The answer is yes. And this one's over. What a play to end the ball game as Rummel has defeated John Ehret 13-2. That was outstanding. That's worth a real cheer. Back with our post-game show in just a moment here on the First NBC Bank Prep Showcase.